Someone told you to wait your turn. Be patient. Don't rock the boat. Your time will come, they say. But what nobody else says is the person who got promoted last quarter, they didn't wait for shit. I'm coming in hot today. So what if wait your turn was never actually good advice? What if it's just something people say when they don't know how to tell you the truth? Or maybe when they don't want you to pass them by?
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to the Ordinary to Badass podcast, the podcast where women in predominantly male industries learn to rise, lead, and own their power without apology. I'm your host, Marie Sonneman. So first, let's talk about what's ordinary and what's badass. What was ordinary this week? So many things. I felt like last week at my day job was just chaotic. It was putting out fires, doing all of the things. I didn't get to the things that I felt like really moved the needle, and I was busy putting out fires. And I'm not going to lie, when that happens, I tend to feel a little bit guilty, like, oh, you should have noticed these problems earlier. Or if you had noticed them earlier, then they wouldn't have popped up, right? But that's also life. You can't notice everything. So I'm telling you this, and I'm reminding myself as well that sometimes things just go that way, or sometimes things, I was going to say sometimes things are just shit, but that sounded very negative. But things are crazy, right? And it's like, okay, you do what you can do and you fix it and you adjust and you're like, okay, how can we not have this happen next time? Or how can I recognize this sooner? And then move on. What felt badass? Okay, I'm gonna geek out. So yes, proof, nerds can be badasses, but I've been learning Claude Code and so AI, if you're not familiar, and I know there's all sorts of extreme views about AI. People love it, people hate it. I really love it. And I've just been geeking out on it and all of the things that it's really capable of. I've always been a fan of ChatGPT, but now I'm learning Claude Code. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm just amazed at the things that can be done and just like in the snap of your fingers, right? Just in an instant. So that is what I've been working on. And I had so much resistance to Claude for whatever reason. So it feels good that I put it off for so long because it just seemed so stinking hard. And then it really wasn't. So that was good news. And I think that it's going to make some processes easier. All right, let's get into the episode. Okay, today we're talking about one piece of advice that I'm sure every single one of you has been given in your career. Because by the fact that you're here, you're listening to this podcast, I know that you're a badass. I know that you're an overachiever and you're a hard worker, right? And wait your turn. That's something that so many of us hear. It sounds responsible, mature even. It sounds like something that the good employee is supposed to do. And I say good employee in air quotes. But also, it's one of the worst pieces of career advice that women in a predominantly male industry could follow. So today I'm going to tell you why I think that is, and we're going to get into it and what you can do instead. All right, let's talk about wait your turn and where this whole thing comes from, why people say it. Okay, so wait your turn, it's really based off of a seniority model. It comes from this idea that time in your position equals time in the next position. You have to have a certain amount of time in your position before you can move on. And that is literally a requirement for some positions. I know when I went from detective sergeant to lieutenant, I had to wait 3 years. I could not move up to lieutenant until I waited for and was a detective sergeant for 3 years. So, like, that is literally a rule nobody can break. But if that is not your situation, if you're not time bound, if it's not a requirement that you've been in the position a certain amount of time, okay, cool. Then it's just a recommendation. I don't know why I'm doing the air quotes again, but but take it as that, just a recommendation. But that doesn't mean it's legit, or it doesn't mean it's a requirement, or that you have to follow somebody else's model. And here's the part that I don't think is talked about nearly enough. Time in your position, time in your seat, or in your role, that makes you eligible, but it doesn't get you chosen. It doesn't mean that you'll be visible to your boss or that they'll notice you. So, yeah, those are two different things. Being eligible, that's just like checking a box. Being chosen is a decision that leadership or your boss makes about risk. So, when we're told, wait your turn, that's stopping women. It's saying, okay, you got to wait till you're eligible. That's it. And it's happening because it feels safe. It feels fair. It feels humble. It feels like you're doing it the right way. But here's the thing, Chad, next to you, he's not waiting to do it the right way. He's building the case why he should be chosen day in and day out. He's not waiting for the promotion to be announced or to hit his 20 years or whatever the magic time frame is. And the thing is like, have you ever been at work and somebody new comes in and they're all egotistical and braggy and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be the CEO one day. Like they have these lofty dreams and it's like, pal, learn the job first, right? And people kind of roll their eyes. But the thing is, he's putting his goals out there. He's letting people know what he wants to happen or what he expects to happen. But he's also signaling to the boss, I am serious about getting promoted. I am serious about moving up. And you know what? If it comes down to it one day and it's between you and Chad for a promotion, your boss may just pick Chad because they assume, you know what? That guy, he's talked about a promotion from day one or talked about being the CEO from day one. So if we don't give it to him, he's probably just going to quit. And if they haven't heard from Julie, they're not going to think that she wants it, or they think, oh, she'll wait till the next go round. So you don't have to be cringe about speaking about your goals, or you don't have to make it lofty and crazy from day one. But there are ways you can talk to your boss, that you can signal to your boss that you're ready. And we talk about that in my course, The Obvious Choice. And if you're quiet or introverted like me, I help you be able to communicate these things to your boss that absolutely signal that you are ready for a promotion. So while Chad is building a case that he should be promoted, you're building a case that you're okay with staying in the same position. And your strategy, Chad's strategy, those aren't the same thing. And only one of them works. Here's what I've watched happen over and over again when promotion decisions get made. And if you're not aware, I've sat on over 1,000 interview and promotion boards, so I've seen this happen so many times, or I know the dynamics. Men who go for it early, they're considered ambitious. Men are judged on their results, their potential, their leadership. But women, they're seen completely different. Women are judged by their personality, their communication, how they come across. So they look at men's potential and then women right where they are right now. So because we already know that's happening, we got to get ahead of the curve. We can't just sit on our heels and wait. So a lot of women, they know that men are looked at differently than women and they start to internalize that gap. And it's not because anybody said anything to them outright, but it's because they've watched what happened to women who have gone before them. And they see the whispers around the office, what other people are saying, how she gets labeled. So you know what? They think to themselves, okay, I'll do it differently. I'll just be patient. I'll do my work and keep my head down, and I'll just let my work speak for itself. Then they have to notice. I'll wait my turn. And here's the cruel twist. Waiting doesn't change anything. It doesn't remove the bias. It doesn't make you more ready. It doesn't make you more visible in your boss's eyes. It just delays the moment you have to deal with it. So you're still going to have the same scenarios. It just might be later down the line. So eventually you wait 10 years, you go for the promotion, and that people in the room, they're going to ask the same questions they've always asked. Your coworkers, the people around you, they're probably going to behave the same way they've always behaved. Is she ready or is she just next? Readiness has to be shown. It can't just be something that's accumulated quietly in the background and just assume that your boss will notice because they won't. And it's like, even a good boss doesn't notice everything. We forget that our boss sees like 2% of our work, right? They have work of their own. They have people they have to supervise. They have fires to put out. They have all these things coming from every different area. So they see you for such a small amount of time. So it's your job to make your contribution obvious. So every year that you spend waiting your turn, instead of actively positioning yourself for a promotion, is a year where someone with less experience than you gets picked over you. Every time, your case for the next level has to be rebuilt from scratch because they've forgotten. Nobody remembers what you said the last time. Remember what you said or what you did 2 years ago, unless it was a mistake, right? Because mistakes tend to stick in our mind. But they can remember what you did last month. Maybe, if you're lucky. So then you start to believe that story. Like, oh, I'm just not ready. But the truth is, you were never positioned correctly because waiting doesn't automatically position you for the promotion. And here's the sneaky truth about waiting your turn. It feels like the right thing in the moment. But when you look back in hindsight, it rarely is. And when you're still in the same position 3 promotions later and newer people are getting promoted over you, it becomes abundantly clear. And they get that position that you were waiting for. So the game, it's all about stop waiting. It's about replacing passive waiting with active positioning, with getting in the right place so that you're visible to your boss and they see you as safe to promote. So here's the first shift to make is to shift from waiting to asking. Nobody is coming to tell you it's your turn. You got to ask your boss directly. What would it take for me to be considered for the next promotion cycle? And that will do way more than 2 years of quiet patience. And I feel like I have to disclose, I haven't asked for a promotion, right? Where I work, you have to test for it. And there's like a series of tests you have to take. It's a whole process. So I've not actually had to ask for a promotion. But I know you don't get what you deserve. You get what you ask for. And so if your coworkers are asking and you're not, they're definitely more likely to get it. But just by asking, you're putting yourself on your boss's radar. And I know for me, there's been so many times in the past where I just assumed people would ask me or tell me if I should be in a position, right? And so I waited for people to approach me. Say, like one time I wanted to go for SWAT and I waited for people to put in or tell me, oh, you should put in for SWAT. Or when I wanted to go for promotions, I often waited thinking, oh, they'll tell me if I should go, like either my boss or I should hear it from coworkers or something. No, wrong mindset. I'm telling myself that. Eventually I got past it, but in the beginning, I was certainly waiting for permission. And we do this in so many different areas of our lives. I got to tell you, this podcast, I wanted to start it. But I waited for a mentor to suggest it to me. I don't know why I felt like why I needed his permission to start it. So thank goodness he said it, right? Or I probably wouldn't have started it. If you waste your life, this is what I tell myself. Like if I waste my time and I don't do the things that I want to do because other people don't want them or other people don't suggest it to me or they don't want to do it with me, guess what? I may never get to do the things in my life that I want to do. So it's like if something is important to you, if you feel a pull to do something, that's up to you to do it. You can't count on somebody else having the same dream or the same visions that you have. So listen to that inner knowing. I for sure wish that I had done that sooner. So the takeaway here to me is don't expect someone else to be proactive about your future, to be proactive about your career. That's your job. Okay, shift number 2. Shift from time served thinking to building a case. Time in your position is not a case. A case is telling your boss, here's what I've done. Here's the impact that I've made. Here's what I'm already doing, pieces of the next job. I am ready. I am there. It is not going to take much for you to put me in that position. I'll make your life easier. You have to have them believe that, right? So start building your case now. Let them know you're ready now. Show them the impact that you're having now. Do it in writing. Be specific. Don't just wait for when the opportunity opens up. Get ready now. Okay, shift number 3 is going from hoping to being known. So when you hear wait your turn, that whole concept is assuming that somebody's quietly tracking your readiness, your capability. They're not. Make sure that your boss, make sure that the people in leadership know what you are capable of. And you don't have to do this through bragging or feeling cringy or being loud. You can just give your boss regular updates on the impact that you're making. I think so often we think, oh, it's got to look a certain way. It doesn't at all. And you can look at what other people are doing and adapt it to your own style in a way that doesn't feel gross to you, but do it. Okay, shift number 4 is going from fair to strategic. Wait your turn. The whole concept is like based on the premise that promotions are handed out fairly and in order. They're not. They're handed out to whoever your boss believes is safest. It's who they think is the obvious choice when the position opens up. And fair, plain fair, doesn't get that decision or doesn't win that decision. But being positioned well in advance does. Because you're reiterating your boss in your boss's mind every single time consistently, like, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Every time you let them know about your impact. Again, it's sending a signal to them. I'm ready. I got this. Let's go. And listen, I get it. I know why wait your turn feels so much safer. Going for the promotion early means you risk getting a label. You risk being called too much, too soon, too ambitious. Your other people might tell you to slow down. Don't listen. But here's the thing. The labels are coming at you either way, whether you go for the promotion or you don't. So just by waiting your turn or by giving it a certain amount of time, their opinions aren't going to disappear, not going to go away. Waiting your turn just ensures that you're not in the room when promotion decisions are made. You're allowed to want the next position long before somebody tells you that it's your turn. Long before somebody suggests you promote or you go to the next level. Long before other people confirm you're ready. And you're allowed to ask your boss for that promotion, for that raise. That is in your court. And you're allowed to build your case for your promotion with your boss long before anybody asks you to. You can be proactive about it, and that's okay. I think it's preferred, but that's just me. So, if you take one thing from this episode, I want to remind you, waiting is not a strategy. It's the absence of one. The women who advance sure aren't the ones who waited the longest. They're the ones who stopped waiting to be told. And they started showing the room, their boss, leadership, that they were already doing the job, that it would be a smooth transition to put them in the next spot, to give them the next promotion, make their boss's life so much easier. So if this hit home, share it with a friend. Maybe it's somebody who's going for a promotion or somebody that you think would be good in a leadership role. Because sometimes we do need that little nudge, right? So share it with them. And then you guys can talk about it and push each other to go for the promotion. Until next time, keep showing up, keep speaking up, and never ever shrink for a seat at the table. Because you, my friend, were born to build it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.